I am Callum from Time Valley Motorhomes, and today's handover will be a Trail Tracker EKS. So coming down the driver's side, first point you get out is your waste water drain off valve. So on the side is a lever and you can drain your wastewater off like so. So you normally drive over a grid on the way out on the site and open that up and drain it off. Then you've got your mains connectivity point. So you get your hook-up lead, which is normally 25 metres long. Open the lever and slide on. Always hook the vehicle up first, then go to your site, post and unhook, and do it the opposite way around when unhooking. And there's a small blue lever there that you push down to pull the hook-up lead out of the vehicle. Next you have this cover, so to get this cover off you put pressure on the top, you thumb in the middle and peel it off. This cover must come off when heating the water on gas. If you're using the gas for heating the water, it's got to come off. If you're heating it on electric, it can stay on, and when you're travelling, it can clip back on. But when heating the water on gas, to allow the fumes out, it's got to come off. Otherwise, you'll get a red light on the control panel above the door. Then you have your mains shower point. So this is your exterior shower. So if there's any water in, you put your hose into there. So you get a hose with a trigger going on. It's like a hose pipe fitting, it clips in there. Then it's a cold water feed. Make sure the pump's on, you'll be able to hose the kids, the boots, the bikes, the dogs off. And then in here you do have your toilet. So to operate your toilet, make sure the blade's closed on the bottom bowl of the toilet first of all on the inside, and you'll be able to lift the orange handle and slide out. Got a handle there to drag it round when it's full, if it's too heavy to carry. And then empty, take the grey cap off, press the button there, tip it out. Once you've tipped it out, put some water in, give it a slosh around, give it a shake, give it a rinse, and tip out again. And then if you want to put the chemical back in, this is your measuring stick. So if you're using the liquid form, a cap full straight in and into the vehicle, or if you're using the tablet form, which is the new form, you put a pint of fresh water back in, push it back into the vehicle, and then drop one straight down the toilet, which then breaks up into the liquid. You've also got your, so very similar to your waste, you've got your fresh drain off point. So say you want to drain the vehicle down in the winter and take out the remaining water in the water tank, you open here. Or if you have taken on any contaminated water, you simply open up and your fresh water will drain off like so. There's storage in there which goes right the way through the back, so through storage for your larger items. Deck chairs and your tables can go in there. And then on the back you've got your high level brake light, your reverse camera, spare wheels under here, so you'd use your key, open this, lift this cover off, big nut, lift the fiberglass panel off, and there's a full size spare wheel. And then you do have your tow bar with 13-pin electrics, which is detachable should you want to take it off. You take it off by turning here, should it be open. And then on the passenger side you've got your Yamaha security handrail. So it also acts as a security handrail, so you can lock this over the door when the vehicle's in storage as an added bit of security, or you can use it as an aid to getting in and out the vehicle. You've got your external barbecue point there with the gas spigot there, so if you are going to take a barbecue with you, you can put that onto there, get some hose, connect it to your barbecue or kayak, and then that will turn on and power it off the bottles on the front of the vehicle instead of carrying a spare. And then should you want to fill the vehicle with water, you put your hose pipe in there, fill it until it either flows, or if you can't fill it with a hose pipe and you're bringing water in an aqua roll or bucket, if you get a wheel submersible pump, you can put the pins in there, the hose in there, drop the pump into the water, turn tank fill on in the settings on the control panel, which I'll show you when we're on board, and you can then suck the water into the vehicle. You've got your two fridge vents and your awning light. Storage in here with a plug, so if you want a plug for out in your awning, there's a plug in there which you can use. Just put through this locker on a lovely summer's day. And then in here, LPG, liquid petroleum gas. This is a gas locker, so you can fit 2 gas bottles in here, 2 6s or a 6 and 11. Make sure the suit securely strapped in before you start travelling. put the pigtail onto the bottle, it's a left-hand thread, and then you will have to nip it up with either an adjustable wrench or a gas spanner. Turn on and off at the bottle, and then press when you turn it on. If you press this green button for 3 seconds, it allows the gas through the crash valve, and obviously turn off when you are on the road, just to be safe in case you're involved in any collisions at all. On the door you've got your diesel filler, so it's a lockable diesel cap which opens with the same key you use for the ignition to start the engine. You then do have your tyre pressure, so 5.5 bar, front and back, which is 79.5 psi all round. Tool kit's underneath here, which has got a jackknife race and a torn iron, everything you need to change that wheel or be towed off the road, and your engine battery lives underneath this compartment here. On the side of the dashboard of the passenger side is your bonnet release. And you can just have a quick look. So first of all, you've got your weight, so this is 3,650. Then you've got 4,900, which is your tone weight. You've got your paint code here. You've got your oil filler and dipstick. Your brake fluid, coolant, which this cover lifts off to top these two up, so you've got your coolant and your power steering fluid, and in the corner you do have your screen wash. If you ever wanted to jump start the vehicle, if you just put your earth onto here, and if you just put a key into here and lift up, you can then put your positive onto there for giving or receiving a jump start. So once inside the motorhome, above your habitation door, you do have your touchscreen control panel. So if you hooked up, first of all, you'll have the little hookup sign here, which means you're on 240 volt electric, and then you can use your household 3-pin plugs. Otherwise, you'll just have 12 volt. You've got your master switch here, which turns the motorhome on and off. That's just indicating that we're low on fresh water. You've got your master switch for all your lights, and then they all are individually switched. This is just a light that looks like on the other side of a building. This is your awning light, which is outside. Your dimmer here, which dims your lights underneath your lounge there. So you can press them and then dim them down like so. Underneath the main master switch, you've got your tap, which you use to any water on the van. So if you use your exterior shower, your interior shower, your toilet, your taps, you put this pump on like so. Then you do have your water reading levels. So at the moment we've got no water in as it's the winter, so it's the fresh level is 0, which is your blue water, and the grey water is your wastewater, which is 0 as well, as I've opened the taps from outside the vehicle. And then below you've got your battery power levels. So you've got your leisure at 14 volt, your vehicle at 13. The amps currently coming off the active battery, which is always wants to be a leisure, which is 10.7 amp. The mains current coming in, which is 13.4 amp, and your solar panel, which is 0.2. Solar panel will always go to sleep when the mains current is on board, as it gives a bigger voltage of power. And then if you go into the settings, your active battery always wants to be a leisure. Don't put on smart, because smart will watch both batteries, and then it will switch over depending on which one has the better charging. And you always want the active battery, which runs the motorhome, to be the leisure, otherwise it can flatten the vehicle battery without you knowing. Your solar panel battery select is primarily on vehicle, but is on smart as well, so again it will watch both batteries and cross over to which one needs the power. You've got tank fill, which you turn on if you're filling from an aqua roll with the wheel submersible pump. And you've got your tank heaters, which is below, so if it's going to be cold and potentially freeze overnight, put that in, put them on. It stops the water from freezing the tanks by allowing a current to run through the water. Then you've got your light settings, so you've got your dimmer settings and your lights to be switched on with the power button, which you can turn these on and off. You've got your screen settings, which is your timeout and your backlight of your screen here. And then you do have your time and date, and then that brings us back to the beginning. Across here you have your Truma Ultra Heat here on 230 volt, which is heating the vehicle on mains power. So you've got off in the middle, up to 2000, which is 2 kilowatts of heat. 1 to 9 is your thermostat. 9 is 30 degrees, so 5 is about 15. So this is how hot you want the vehicle. If you were on a smaller site, you may have to use either half a kilowatt, which is 500 watt, or 1000 watts, which is 1 kilowatt of heat. But in most sites in this country, you can use 2000, just depending on what you are running in the vehicle at the present time. Across from here you have your boiler, so your boiler on gas this side, so this is when the cover needs to come off, and you've got 50 degrees at the top of heating your water off in the middle and 70 degrees at the bottom. The red light will indicate if the cover has been left on down here. So now in the kitchen, your end kitchen on your Tracker EKS, you've got 3 gas lit rings there and 1 electric this side, which brings on the little red light. This will only work when you're hooked up to mains power. You've got electric hot plate, and below you do have your grill, which is lit there like so, and then below the grill you do have a oven. So if you've had the gas off for a while, it will take some time just to prime through. Like so, and there is the oven lid. With the oven shelves, if you do take them out, these 2 grooves need to go at the back of the fridge, or should I say the oven, to stop the jet being blocked by any food substance. They just go on like so. You may want to take them out when you travel. And below the oven you've got 2 gas taps, which is your hob and your cooker. You can turn them on and off if you have a problem, but I would leave them on, and if you've got any problems with gas, turn the bottle off just to be safe. These are mainly for when the vehicle is serviced. And you'll also have a plug down here, which is this side, for your electric hot plate, so any problems with that you can isolate by pulling the plug out the plug. In the cupboards you've got plate racks, cup racks, so plates, cups and bowl rack there. You've got your Omni Fan, so you can open the hatch above and then you can turn it on, and there's 6 settings both ways, so you can either bring fresh air in and there's 6 speeds, or you can take fresh air out when you're cooking, and there's 6 speeds on that as well. So bring air in or take air out, it just depends what you want to do. And then you've also got a blackout blind on there as well, so always make sure the hatch in any skylights and windows are closed before you start travelling, and then you do have a blind on there as well. Also in your kitchen area you do have a 800 watt household microwave, so this will only work on hookup, it isn't a 12 volt microwave. So press eco when you're hooked up and that will wake up, and it's 800 watt. Also underneath is a storage space for your draining board, so that just slides in there, which is your sink cover. You've got your table this side, which basically just opens like an ironing board. You can put that in the front lounge or outside if it's been a nice day. And then getting on to how to operate your Dometic fridge. So you've got on off here, so you can turn it on and off. Then you've got 3 sources, so you've got the plug, which is hook up on 240 volts. The gas, which self-ignites, and you've got the battery. The battery isn't the leisure battery, the battery is the engine battery. It gets a feed when the engine is running from the alternator and is designed to keep the temperature the same, so it turns it into a cool box. So what you need to do is you need to chill the fridge on either gas or electric the day before. So if you keep it at home, hook it up, put it on electric, chill it the day before. The night before you go away, go shopping, put your shopping in, allow that to cool overnight, and then you can put on a battery when you travel and it will keep your shopping nice and fresh. So you just press them, so gas, battery, it'll fail now because the engine's not running, and then we're back to hook up, and then you do have your temperature here, so 5 bars being the coolest. And then once you've finished using the van for the season and you're bedding it down for the winter months and you're not going to touch it until March time, clean your fridge out, take any remaining shopping out, give it a wipe out with some Dettol or other substance, and then what you want to do is you don't want to shut the door as it forms an airtight seal. So if you push this in by the light, little lug, push it in, slide it out, 2 tabs, then slide out, and what that allows is the door to not shut, and you can get your fingers right down the rubber to allow air in and out, because if you don't, the air that you trap will become smelly and will start growing mould. Across from here you do have your Overheat. This is how to heat the van on gas, and you've got your 12-volt fan. So above the door is your Overheat on 240, this is your Overheat on gas, so how to operate your fire. So what you need to do is you've got your flame for your fire, and you've got 1 to 5, you push down and turn. Then when you release, you'll see in here in the pilot hole, you can see the gas flame. Then what you do is, if you wanted to convect out the front of the fire, i.e. your wild camp, and you don't want to waste a 12-volt feed on a fan, you wouldn't bother with this. But if you are on a site and you want to ventilate it around the van, so to the front and to the bathroom and to the back, you can either put on O is off on this side, A is automatic, so it automatically will blow around the van until it hits that temperature that you have got set. Once it hits that temperature, i.e. say 30 degrees being the highest, it will cut out. Once it drops to about 26, it will then kick back in. Otherwise you can have it on M, which is manual, and you will then have to manually adjust the temperature. If it's getting too hot, it won't cut out, and you've got 1 to 5 being the fan speed. Or if you just want to recirculate the air within the motorhome, you can put it onto the fan and it'll just recirculate the air that's in there. You can use this on a summer's day to cool the vehicle down. So now in the washroom, you've got your toilet. So how to operate your Thetford toilet. What you need to do is make sure first of all you've got water on board. You press this button, the fan will kick in. To stop the fan, you just press it until it goes from flashing to solid. Press to flush the toilet. Once you flush the toilet, always flush it first as it lubricates the blade and stops it sticking. You then have the grey lever, slide that to the right, which opens the cassette. You would then use the cassette with the blade open. Once you've finished using the toilet, if you flush again and then slide to the left, which isolates and closes the cassette. You've got to have the cassette closed to get it out the vehicle from the outside. And then this green light, you'll get more than 1 green light, so you get about 3 when the cassette is full, indicating it needs to be emptied. You've got your light on the side of your toiletry cabinet here, toiletry cabinet there, toiletry cabinet here. Behind me you do have your shower screens, so they are just magnetic. And then you have a hanging rail, which is great for towels, but also great if you've been caught in the rain with the dog or being out on your bikes and you want to hose your clothes off. You can put it in there and then put the heating on, shut the door, and this gets lovely and warm and they'll dry in no time. And also you've got your shower head, so when winterizing, what I advise people to do is take your shower head off. As you can see, the shower hose is stood up and it's got a lot of loops in. If you lie that down in the shower tray, any water that's in there will drain off down the plug hole. And open all the mixer taps, so your kitchen mixer tap, your shower mixer tap and your hand basin mixer tap. Leave them all open during the winter months when you're not using the van to stop any build up airlocks and any water. And open your skylight above on the roof there. You press the button, slide the bar back all the way, or you can put it into groove. Should it be a nice day and you want to light with the ventilation, you've got 2 options there. Always make sure it's closed, so push it up and let the button pop out. And then you do have a fly screen and a blackout blind for morning and evening. So in the long bench seat behind the driver's seat, underneath here is your leisure battery location. You've got a 20 amp fuse. On this side you've got your Truma boiler, which I'll go through first, and a few more gas taps, which so like I said, turn off at the bottle if you're getting any gas leaks, and these are just mainly for a service engineer. You've got your Truma boiler, which holds 10 litres of water at any one time. In the winter it's very important that you drain this off, as if not it will cost a lot of money to repair and replace and isn't covered under warranty. So what you need to do is obviously make sure that your fresh and waste outside are open, all your taps are open, your shower head's off, and then you open this. So you just lift this up, lift it right up so it sticks on end. There's a drain off directly underneath the chassis. It will drop the 10 litres of water out. Leave it up during the time you aren't using the vehicle over the winter when it's cold, and then when you do want to use the vehicle, if you lie it back down, shut all the taps outside as well. Go, get your hose pipe, fill the vehicle up, come in, put the power on, put the pump on, go to the cold side of the tap first. You'll get automatic cold water. Go to the hot side, it will cough, splutter, make all sorts of noises until one tap is primed, then do them all, and then it's ready for the season. But if you want to heat your water on electric instead of wasting your gas, there is a switch here. So Truma Boiler EL, you've got 1 kilowatt at the top, off in the middle, and 2 kilowatts at the bottom of heating your water on electric. And obviously on the Tracker EKS, you can use them as single beds, but if you did want to make them into a large double bed, what you can do is just slide them out like so, and do the same with this one. So slide it out, and then you can either put these at the back or these at the front, and there you go, you've made your bed. What I'd also suggest is you put them all that way, as it's a flatter surface. You haven't got the bull nose of the cushion and you haven't got the ribs of the design. Put them all the other way. It's far comfortable and it's a better surface to sleep on. Put a fitted sheet on and you'll have a better night's sleep sleeping on the backs of the cushion. To operate your TV, so if you just fold it down, so on the latch, which is your travel catch, and then you do have a switch here, so as long as it's on, you'll get the light on the magic eye and you'll be able to turn the telly on until it goes blue, like so. And then if you press AQT, which is this big red orange button here, and you'll be able to do a press and hold. You'll be able to do an auto tune, so automatically set to the UK. Press OK and let it do an auto tune and find as many channels as it can in your area. If not, you've got source and you can change it to DVD and put a DVD in the side there, and this TV is ready. So should you ever get a satellite fitted to the van, this will take a satellite. So now in the cab, you've got your handbrake to your right. On the door pillar itself, you've got your electric windows and electric mirror adjustments, which you would use the joystick. You've got two each way, so you've got the top and the bottom. And then you do have the Remus carb line, so if you pinch them together, always allow the front to lead. So never do this, do that, push this section out, all the way down to the bottom, and that blacks the driver's door out, and you've got exactly the same on the passenger. And then if you pinch the ones on the windscreen, do the same this side, slide it out. It's magnetic, so they just stick together, but if it's going to be a windy night and the winds are going to get up, I would put something around it, as the magnet may not be strong enough to hold it during the windy, when the van is moving ever so slightly in the wind. And then down to the right of the driver, you've got your headlight adjustment and rear fogs. This is your alarm indicator, which I'll get on to in a minute, as it's a category 1 Vodafone alarm. You've got your trips, so it goes through your range, your miles per gallon, your travelling times, your instant and average consumption, through the centre screen there on the instrument cluster on your wiper stalk. Lights and indicators, cruise control at the top, off in the middle, and speed limiter. Get it up to speed, turn the cruise control on, a little green light will come down here, and then what you need to do is, you've got a plus and a minus, so you push it up, that'll set the cruise control. If you want to go any faster, you can, goes up on 1s, or you press and hold and it goes up on 5s, and you can slow it down. And should you have to cancel the cruise control for any reason, you can press resume, so put your foot on the brake, slow it down, speed cameras, anything like that, car cutting you up, you can then press the button and it will resume it back to the speed it was at. 6-speed manual gearbox with lift the collar and into reverse, which will then bring your reverse camera on. You've got your traction control, which turns it off. hill descent control, which doesn't work as it's for an automatic and this is a manual. You've got your hazard lights. You've got your lock, so the lock locks the cab door and the driver's door. Heated mirrors, so if your mirrors are wet or foggy you can put them on to clear them. USB for charging purposes only and 12 volt. Glove box there, and heated and cooled glove box here by the air conditioning, so if it's in the summer and it's cool you can put little bits and pieces in there, but in the winter I wouldn't advise putting anything in there, as if you put chocolate or anything with the heating it'll melt. But definitely in the summer months. Your USB and auxiliary down here by your cup holders for the head unit, which I'll get onto in a second. And then you do have your temperature on the outside ring and fan speed on the in. Must be on at least one or more for the aircon to work, which is this button here. Then you've got your distribution, so where you want it to go to, face, feet, screen. And then you've got your circulation, either recirculating air within the vehicle, which is this one, or bringing fresh air in. Radio is FM, AM and DAB, so you can choose your source. Press 1 to 3 to save here, or you can press all and save 12 stations. You've got a CD, so you can go to media, which is either CD, USB or auxiliary, or Bluetooth audio. Navigation, which is TomTom navigation, so you can navigate to. Put your address in here. With the home, I wouldn't set your address up, so don't put your household address in home, because if someone steals your motorhome, they know where you live. So what I'd advise is putting somewhere close, like your estate or your near your house, or a couple of streets away, or the local town, but don't put your actual household address in. Somewhere that you can navigate yourself to, and then you know where you are and you know the direct route to your address. So it's just somewhere that navigates you to a place, and then you can get yourself from there to home. Then you have phone, so phone settings, add phone, find Uconnect on your device, so search on your device and your Bluetooth settings for Uconnect, make sure the pins match, press pair on here, press pair on your phone, and then you can then ask you if you want to sync your contacts, press allow, because if you don't you'll just get a number come up, whereas if it's saved in your phone book on your phone it will come up with the name who's ringing you. Then you've got more, so you can view your trips on here as well as the middle screen in the instrument cluster, so you could trip A and B. On and off volume, and then this can scroll through the settings as well. Above you've got a sat nav holder and phone holder, so your paper holder at the moment, if you've tried this out you can then stand your phone in here and lock it in. That now brings us to the end of the handover on the Trail Tracker EKS. Should you have any questions once you've watched the video, please contact us on 01207 272 777 or email our sales team at sales@TimeValleyMotorhomes. But before I go, I will show you how to work your alarm. So with your alarm, you just lock the vehicle as normal. It's programmed through the canvas of the central locking system, so it will lock the, when you lock it, it arms the outside, so the bonnet, all the doors, so make sure all your locker doors are locked with the little key, so these two keys. But if you were to want to stay in the vehicle and sleep in it and set the alarm, you'd have to turn your ultrasonic sensors off, which are on the pillars there. So what you need to do is put the key in the ignition, turn the ignition on, turn the ignition off. Within 6 seconds, just press and hold. You see it flash red light. It's flashing until simply it doesn't flash anymore. That sees off, but as soon as you start the engine, turn the engine over, it will then go back to default, so you'll have to do that every time you stop. Once again, thank you for watching this handover video on the Trail Tracker EKS, which is a 2017 model.